It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion. This is for Wednesday, the 3rd of July. I'm Michael Groff. The main weather headline around here revolves around heat, as it often does this time of year, but we're not just talking about regular old desert heat. We're talking about excessive heat, temperatures above average, approaching record territory at times over the next 7 days or so. What about monsoon moisture and rain chances? Yes, we did have a few little light showers across the area this morning, but that really didn't amount to a whole lot, and we don't expect any meaningful rain chances for the next week or so. Now, there are signs that the weather pattern may start to change way out there toward the end of next week. We will talk about it as we dive on in and discuss. First, here's that almanac from yesterday. 113 degrees, the afternoon high. 92, the record warm low temperature for the date. 107 and 83 are the averages. 118, the record high from 2011. That was also the day of the dust storm. And if you were here, which I was actually not, but if you were here when that happened, you know all about it. The news coverage, how that dust storm was maybe one of the worst this city has ever seen, and dust was still hanging in the air with obscured visibility all the way into the next day. And that was something. Shut down the airport for several hours. It was a crazy storm. I don't think we're going to see anything like that, at least not anytime in the near future. All right, as we take a look outside right now, here at 5:45 in the morning, who would be up at this hour? Well, your weather guy, of course, looking out there, looking south from downtown Phoenix. Yeah, the remnants of some light rain showers from earlier this morning. We have partly cloudy sky. We have 93 degrees. It's just another hot start to the day. Dew points at 63, so it is sticky out there. 36% the relative humidity. Wind from the southeast at 10. Barometer is rising. Here's a check of the current radar across the area, and you can see just a few very light showers off to the south and west of us now. They're down there south of Buckeye, south of the Estrellas, drifting off to the northwest, and that's going to be how it is. We don't expect any real rain around here anytime soon, but if you're out there in western Maricopa County, you might run into a sprinkle or a light shower over the next hour or two. The upper level weather pattern across the nation, troughing is off to the north and east of us, moving through the northern tier states. We've got a ridge over the southeast U.S., a ridge to the west of us. That ridge to the west is what we're concerned about because that's what's building in here, and it's going to be a very strong ridge. It's going to provide plenty of heat, not just here in the southwest, but across the entire western United States. We do expect record or near record heat in some locations. The watch warning map. There's the excessive heat warnings and heat advisories from Texas, Louisiana, through Mississippi, Tennessee, Alabama. And again, we all know it's hot in the south central plains or the southern plains in the southeast U.S. this time of the year, but these are National Weather Service criteria. It's going to be especially hot and humid. Heat index values in those excessive heat warning areas could push over 110 degrees. Now, out here in the southwest, an excessive heat warning is in effect for Greater Phoenix, Maricopa County, and that is in effect from 10 a.m. tomorrow morning, the 4th of July, all the way through next Tuesday at 8 p.m. And those excessive heat warnings extend through western Arizona, the Northwest Plateau, the Mojave Desert, Southern California, all the way up into the Pacific Northwest. We're starting to see the National Weather Service issue those heat products, those excessive heat watches and whatnot. Again, a prolonged heat wave is likely even up into the Pacific Northwest. Hopefully, it's not nearly as extensive as it was a couple of years ago, where we saw records being broken all by the wayside. Just crazy, crazy heat. But still, temperatures well above average there. Convective outlook for today. The risk of severe storms, the standard slight risk parts of Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota, Wyoming, and extending from parts of Missouri into the Ohio Valley. Southeast Arizona in the green, there could be a few thunderstorms around today, but we do not anticipate any severe weather down there. Of course, any one storm during the monsoon can be severe, but they will be very isolated, and I don't think we're going to see anything here in the south central deserts this afternoon or for quite some time. All right, let's turn our attention briefly to the tropics. We've got a wave that's now moving toward the islands once again, as if they need anything else. We also have Beryl. That is Hurricane Beryl. That is Category 4 Beryl. Yeah, it is weakened a bit because it's now beginning to undergo some shear and some drier air to the west. Still, an absolute monster of a storm. Anytime Category 4, I mean, wow. This is approaching Jamaica. We expect devastating damage, devastating hurricane force winds to impact the island beginning later this afternoon, tonight, and all the way through tomorrow morning. Obviously, very heavy rain, storm surge, all the usuals, and of course, some isolated tornadoes as this passes on by as well. So this is just going to be one of those storms. It's a historic storm, and it is going to continue to move to the west-northwest with time. Now, the official forecast from the National Hurricane Center does continue to weaken this system. Now, there's those hurricane warnings for Jamaica as this moves further to the west toward the Yucatan Peninsula, should make landfall sometime around 2 a.m. on Friday in Belize, and move across the Yucatan and then out into the Gulf of Mexico. Now, once it gets out there, this could re-strengthen a bit. It will be knocked down to tropical storm status, but could get back to at least a Category 1 hurricane and approach either the coast of northeast Mexico or South Texas as this track continues to turn toward the north. We have models that show this making a much harder right turn toward the upper Texas coast or even into Louisiana. I don't think that's going to happen right now, but of course, there's a considerable amount of time to watch this system and see what ultimately happens. And whenever we see a system moving into northern Mexico or South Texas, of course, people are going to wonder if this will impact our weather. And the answer at this point is probably not a for sure, but likely not, given that we have this very strong ridge that's going to be sitting in an unfavorable position, at least for a while. We'll watch how things play out, though, over the next several days. The precipitation outlook valid through Wednesday morning of next week. Rain amounts in Phoenix, nothing. Statewide, only rain to be found over the eastern mountains, the southeastern corner of the state, and along the international border. And I don't even anticipate much rain down there, generally under 1/4 of an inch for the most part, as we're going to be getting into a very hot, very dry pattern. Now, ordinarily here in early and mid-July, that's when the monsoon really gets cranked up, but it's kind of doing a flip-flop on us this year. We started early, and now we're into an extended hiatus, it sure appears. And we're going to talk about this in more detail as we see what the future may hold, checking the models. Here we go. This is the GFS. It is the 06Z run, and it's valid at 2 o'clock this afternoon. All right, there's that big ridge sitting off to the west of us. Troughing is exiting out across the northern plains and up into Canada. And a northwesterly flow is aloft here. But what it means down at the surface for the rest of the day today, yeah, we'll see a few clouds this morning, isolated showers over western Maricopa County over the next couple of hours, but by the time you guys watch this, those will be out of here. We'll turn sunny this afternoon, hot. Highs, we could be poking up toward 108 to 113. Yeah, tonight, mostly clear, overnight lows, low 80s to low 90s. Tomorrow, for the 4th of July, sunny, very hot. Highs 111 to 115. And yes, the record high for tomorrow, 118 degrees. So we won't be at record territory, but certainly above average. We really want you to use as much precaution, be as vigilant as possible out there. If you're planning any outdoor activities, even if you're hanging by the pool, listen, wear that sunscreen. Try to stay in the shade. I know people love to have those barbecues and cookouts and beer and all that. And hey, no problem with that, but make sure you're drinking plenty of water if you're out there as well. And watch those kids around water. We had a drowning incident yesterday. We also had a 10-year-old die on the trails yesterday in South Mountain. And we don't want to hear stories about that. I know people say, you get used to the heat. But look, heat exhaustion, heat stroke can occur very, very quickly in these kinds of temperatures. And so please use caution when you're out there. Drink plenty of water. I see people out there walking around. Sometimes you see them hiking and they have like this little bottle of Dasani. One of those little 12 or 20 ounce bottles. That is not enough if you're going to be out there for any extended period of time at all. All right, that's my soapbox. As we go to Friday. Yeah, another sunny and very hot day. Highs 111 to 115, and pretty much it's a copy-paste forecast here as we go out into the weekend. Yeah, there could be some isolated showers and storms over the higher terrain of eastern Arizona and the southeastern part of the state. People will be asking because, again, 4th of July weekend, a lot of people go out camping for whatever reason. People like to camp. I don't know why, but if you do, you're going out there up to the high country, get away from the heat. That is one good reason. But, there's hotels, not sleeping on dirt. Saturday, Sunday, yes, isolated showers and thunderstorms out there over the eastern part of the state, southeastern portions of Arizona. Possible, but even there, isolated is the key word. For the most part, though, here in the valley, we're just sunny. We're very hot. 112 to 116 for Saturday, Sunday. Monday, same thing. No relief from the heat. High pressure sits to the north and west of us, and a dry northerly flow should be in place. Upper heights with this area of high pressure between 594 to 597 decameters, may be pushing even higher than that at times. So we're in the heat, and we're close to record territory on a few of these days. This is Tuesday, and again, we're just hot. Now, Tuesday shows a little bit of promise, just a skosh, a pinch of promise here, with a slight increase in moisture for some widely scattered late afternoon and evening showers and storms over the higher terrain of eastern Arizona, the eastern rim country, maybe pushing all the way west into Gila County. But I just don't think we're going to see anything here in the lower deserts. But this ridge of high pressure will begin very slowly to shift to the east, but it's still a very intense ridge. We see this as we go out to a week from today. This is Wednesday the 10th. At that point, the ridge is centered north of us on the Utah-Nevada border, and the flow aloft is switching more toward the east. And you can see whatever's left over of Beryl, according to the GFS, is now this kind of remnant low that's sitting over Texas, which will eventually develop into something of an inverted trough. We're going to watch where that goes. At this point, probably doesn't get caught up in the ridge and move into our area, but I have seen at least a few iterations on the GFS ensemble that this could happen, that we could start to see some moisture from the east coming on in. Maybe enhanced moisture thanks to Beryl. We'll see. In the meantime, though, for next week, next Wednesday, we're still looking hot and relatively dry. Still some widely scattered storms over the higher terrain. This is the end of the forecast period, Friday. This is the 12th of July. And now the ridge is shifting over toward the Rockies, centered over Colorado. If that's the case, the flow is east-southeasterly, and monsoon moisture may start to return. The problem is it's still a really strong ridge, and the upper levels of the atmosphere may still be rather warm. So thunderstorm activity, while moisture would be increasing, storms might be somewhat muted here over the south-central deserts. We would still see isolated to widely scattered storms for the lower deserts, more scattered shower and storm activity over the higher terrain. This is at least encouraging, and we have talked about this for a while. This developing ridge and its ultimate trajectory would be to scoot east into the Rockies eventually. But that is an eventually. I mean, that is way out there toward 10 days, and as we all know, we're trudging out here into fantasy land. Things can change. All right, looking at rainfall for Phoenix off the GFS ensemble. This goes out through the 17th of July. The ensemble mean is just under 1/2 inch. You've got a couple of members that are way up into the stratosphere, so to speak, over 2 inches. Every member does indicate precipitation, but almost all of them you have to wait out toward 10 days and beyond. So now we play the waiting game. All right. Here's the next 2 weeks off the European ensemble, and it's more or less the same, except the Euro, of course, has consistently remained much drier than the GFS and its ensemble members, and the ensemble mean is between 1 and 2/10 of an inch, and you got quite a few members that show nothing at all. So the bottom line, if you take nothing away from this video whatsoever, just know hot and generally dry conditions will persist for at least the next 7 days and possibly well beyond that. People are going to go, yeah, Mike, I know, it's summertime, it's going to be hot. But it's going to be dangerously hot, excessively hot, near record heat at times, so be aware of that. And again, we could be talking about the hottest deserts approaching 120 degrees. Meanwhile, We're actually not that far from 120 ourselves. If you look at these temperatures off the national blend of models, I'll say this, it's consistent. 114, 115, 116, pretty much for the next 10 days, lows in the 90s. Now, keep in mind, this is at the urban core. This is Sky Harbor Airport. This is downtown Phoenix. This is the urban heat island. You live in Arcadia. You live in the Biltmore area. You live, generally that's that core of the heat. Unfortunately, my house is in Arcadia, so that's the core of the heat island. It does not cool off there. Out here at Studio B in Avondale, it's still hot. Okay, we're still, even if you're away from downtown, overnight lows are still going to be generally in the mid 80s, upper 80s. So you have to really get up there into the outlying valley areas and the higher terrain before you really start to cool off at night. And when I say cool off, 82, 83 degrees. You can call that cooling off. All right, that is it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video, why not? It's 4th of July. We're not going to take the day off. I mean, sure, we'll be here. Holiday forecast for you, so we'll be back tomorrow morning. If you enjoy these videos, be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell, leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. Yeah, I know. I am not going camping. No. Mike, are you going to go camping for the 4th of July weekend? Sure. Yeah, we'll get right on that. Anyway, if you do like these videos, do all those things, like, subscribe, and click that thanks icon below the video. Show your appreciation for us here and help to pay our AC and all of our other various bills that we accrue here. That's helping us out. Or you can donate directly to me via PayPal. groffshow@gmail.com is the PayPal address. That is groffshow@gmail.com. The executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion, and as much a fan of camping as I am, it's my OAO, the one and only, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation, and the proprietor of sweetchildaz.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona, talking about my Michelle. Check her out. Check out all of her videos, which do not feature her camping. And be sure to check out her blogs and all that other stuff that is Michelle-related down in the description. You know what else you find in the description? Our streaming station, available 24/7, 365. It is called KMGX. We play a ton of music and have a lot of fun with that. So give that a look and listen as well. All right, thank you guys so much for watching, all of your continued support. It is so greatly appreciated. Please be safe, stay cool, stay hydrated out there. Watch those kids around the swimming pool and have yourselves a great rest of your Wednesday.